You wake up to the sound of boots above your head, and something wet crawling across your face. When you open your eyes, you realize it's not water. It's a rat. It's licking breadcrumbs off your face. Before you can even sit up, a voice growls in the darkness. A heavy boot slams into your ribs. Up, deck, now. Congratulations. You've officially started work as a servant on a pirate ship. Not a pirate, not a crewmate. Just the guy everyone screams at when anything goes wrong, which is basically all the time. You stumble up the ladder into a blast of morning light, and the first smell that hits you is a mix of gunpowder, stale rum, and someone vomiting over the side of the ship. You don't get a chance to breathe it in properly, because someone grabs your shirt and drags you towards a brown stain on the deck. "Scrub," he says. "That stain? It was a pirate yesterday. Today, it's your problem. The day has officially begun." The job description of a pirate servant is simple. Everything. If the deck is dirty, you clean it. If the food is rotten, you cook it anyway. If a cannon misfires, you fix it. If a pirate loses a fight, somehow it's your fault. And if the captain wakes up in a bad mood, which he always does, you pray you're not the first thing he sees. The pirates treat you like a mix between a pet, a punching bag, and the ship's personal apology letter to the universe. You don't get breaks, you don't get gratitude, you barely get food, and when you do get food, you honestly wish you didn't, because pirate meals are special. You open the food barrel and your nose instantly regrets its life choices. The fish has the texture of wet leather, the biscuits are so hard you could use them as ammunition. The water smells like two diseases fighting for dominance. And the meat? Well, let's just say, if it's wriggling, that means it's still fresh. And you're supposed to cook with this, for 30 violent, impatient men, who all think screaming at you makes the food taste better. By the time you're done cooking, the pirates are drunk again, arguing over whose turn it is to gamble, fight, or throw someone overboard for fun. You sneak a bite of food for yourself, but a pirate catches you. "That's the captain's portion," he says. You swallow it so fast you almost choke. Now it's no one's portion. Eventually, when the sun burns your skin raw, you crawl below deck to breathe. But the air down there is worse. It's damp, dark, and thick with mold. Every plank is sweating, every barrel's leaking, every shadow has a rat. You sleep between a cannon and a pile of ropes that never fully dry, no matter how hot it gets. The floor is sticky, everything smells like rot, and you don't get a bed. You get a corner that occasionally fills with seawater when the waves get too aggressive. If you sit up too fast, you hit your head on a beam. If you roll too far in your sleep, you get crushed by a cannon. And yes, that has happened. And no one cared. But don't worry, things get worse. Because nothing terrifies a pirate servant like the captain's voice yelling, "Battle station!" Pirates love fighting, you do not. Because during battle, you're the most useful and the most disposable person on the ship. You sprint through thick smoke carrying barrels of gunpowder while cannonballs whistle past your head like angry metal birds. Splinters the size of knives explode from the wood around you. Musket fire cracks through the air. Pirates scream. Enemies scream. You scream. Your job isn't to fight. You're not trusted with weapons. Your job is to feed the cannons, dodge dying men, and try not to explode. If you drop the gunpowder, everyone dies. If you run too slow, you get stabbed. If you hide, the pirates will find you and throw you overboard. Not because you're a coward, but because you're wasting space. When the battle finally ends and half the ship is in pieces, you get to clean up the blood. All of it. Every drop. And if you're injured, well, pirate medicine is a beautiful combination of rum, dirty bandages, and hope. A pirate doctor, if your ship even has one, is usually just some guy who once saw a real doctor from a distance. He pours rum on the wound, ties something vaguely cloth-like around it, and tells you to walk it off. If you break a bone, they yank it until it feels less broken. If you're sick, they tell you to drink water that would make a frog gag. And if you get an infection, you're done. Overboard you go. Less work for the rest of the crew. But the worst part is not the food, or the rats, or the beatings, or even the constant threat of sudden ocean-based death. The worst part is that you are nothing to them. The pirates have a hierarchy. Captain, quartermaster, gunners, fighters, rat. You don't get treasure, you don't get a vote. You don't get a share of anything except blame. When pirates talk about the crew, you're not included. When pirates talk about the loot, you're not included. When pirates talk about who gets to survive, you're definitely not included. If the ship runs low on food, they throw servants away first. If the ship gets captured, you get blamed for sabotage. If the captain wants to make an example of someone, you're the perfect target. You're not a pirate. You're not a prisoner. You're just there, suffering on a wooden coffin that floats. So the next time someone says, "I wish I lived in the age of pirates," ask them one question. As which job? Because being a pirate might have been wild, chaotic, and full of freedom, but being their servant was nothing but misery, hunger, bruises, and the constant fear of dying in a way the crew wouldn't even remember. And trust me, you wouldn't last a week.